Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. We are on the Xbox Series S Deluxe version. We are departing from Gwadar and heading to Karachi today in the Junkers 52 3M. This is leg 18, leg 18 of 32, so we are more than halfway there, or just a little bit over halfway to our final destination of Indonesia. Mick will not be joining me today, so I am going to go ahead and taxi out to the takeoff runway. We'll wait a few minutes to see if anybody else wants to pop in. If not, that's quite all right, but the multiplayer is on. So Mick cannot be joining us today, so it might be another quiet one. Don't know. Now this may be the last flight. Oh, hello, Mr. Adams. There is no everyone. It's just you and me for right now, I guess. Mick will not be joining us. I don't know that he'll be in this chat even today. So it's just you and me so far. Alright, let's go ahead and do this real quick. There's that. I've already got my... Oops. That's set. That is set. Yep. All right. Wait a few more minutes and then we'll get going. I kind of like this as a... So I don't forget, I might as well get this shot right here. The same one that I've been flying on these trips, Joseph, the Junkers 52 3M. I'm flying this Mondays and Wednesdays. Nothing's changed yet. I can assure you, if I change planes, it will tell everybody. Alright, we'll wait a few more minutes. wait till 7:20 and we're going to depart. So about almost 3 minutes. So yeah, same one we've been flying on this trip for most of it. Since the Fokker F7B turned out to be a bit of a dud. So we will continue with this for the time being. So it's a 264 nautical mile trip today. Perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and pull onto the runway here. I don't think anybody else is going to spawn in. If they do, they can do it after I depart. If anybody's going to join, I don't think anybody's going to be here today. All right. So we've been flying this whole route pretty much from was it Greece, or where did we landed somewhere, and then I swapped planes for the remainder of the trip. This is just much easier to fly, and even though it's not period correct, we can. The story is Deutsche Lufthansa was contacted by KLM to complete the flight. The F7B is in the maintenance hangar. All right. Just under 2 minutes and we'll go. So might be a bit of a quiet flight, I guess. I don't know. Yesterday it certainly was. We had 2 people pop in. It was a short flight, but like Airlock Doc and Vengeful Squid were the only 2 that showed up and talked in the chat for a minute or 2, and then that was it. So alright, we're just going to go ahead and go. There's no sense in waiting. Yeah, we've had rain here recently, Joseph. It's happening all over. Not much to be done about it. Away we go. Set this to 092. Oh. Okay. Hello, Nick. We just skedaddled out. We're alright. There we go. Start turning. go. That's why. Okay. I can't say or spell medical terms for it. That's okay, Mick. All right, we are on our way to Karachi. All right, so last night I was kind of sitting around bored. I did the flight that Mick and I were supposed to do yesterday from Heathrow to Hamburg. Got it into the airport, no problems. Pushed back, no problems. Flew the whole route, no problems at all. No problems with the flight plan, no problems with stuff turning off, nada. I don't quite understand why. I don't understand what was different from last night to Sunday night. Why was there a difference? I don't quite understand that. What was different about yesterday evening compared to Sunday night when I was checking the route? I don't understand that. But anyway, so yeah, I did. It was just an hour and turned out to be an hour and 14 minutes flying time. Don't know, Mick or Joseph. I completed the flight, no issues, didn't have any problems. It's one of those unexplainable things that happens in the sim. It seems that stuff happens that don't make any sense. So But got an hour and 14 minutes of night flying in. It was a nice flight. No issues. Landed reasonably well. Didn't have any bumps or anything, and just on the ground, taxied, shut it down, and that was that. That was very strange. I don't know what happened that was causing it, but oh well. It's fine. All right. It may be a while before we pick up the VOR DME. It's 264 miles away. I think I have it correctly. DME 1210. Let me verify that quick. 1210. Yep. Oops. Okay. So we're flying along the coast of Pakistan today for the entire trip. We will not be going. I thought we were going into India, but I think that's another flight or two down the road. We will be in India, I believe. Now, the airport we took off from, I kind of get the sense that that was just like a quick stopover for fuel and maintenance or something, you know. But yeah, it was a nice flight. Nice evening. Well, it was kind of late night flight over from the UK to Germany. Yeah, I had no issues. Very strange, but yeah, it was just a nice quiet flight. Well, that's very distinctly possible, Joseph. That's the that's the problem with this sim is that when you know when I put stuff together and I check to make sure, like I check the gate, I check to make sure that the plane's gonna start up no problem, all those things, and that's what I was doing Sunday night. Oh no, Monday night. I'm sorry, Monday night to ensure that you know that the flight was going to go well, and nothing worked. Like um, I couldn't get the plane. I could get the plane started up, but then stuff turned off, and uh, there's this. I don't know what was different between Monday night and last night. That's the crazy thing. But it's okay. Get rid of that for the time being. We'll check later on, make sure we're still in the So yeah, there's no telling what it was. All right. We got a pretty decent sized airport there in Karachi. For us to land at. Yeah, we got more than enough runway. Of course, when they landed here in 1930, or landed there in Karachi in 1930, it was probably a much smaller airport. Probably only had one runway and might not even have been paved. Tomorrow, we've got a flight plan for Lockheath to Ramstein. I'll be flying the F-14. I think if Mick's going to join, he will be in the F-18, if that's still the plan. If he's going to join, then Friday we'll be in the Cessna 172. That one's going to start earlier than normal. It's going to be kind of a short flight. We're just going to take off and head over to an airport and land. It's probably going to be like a 45, maybe 50-minute flight. So that gives me time to get over to Wally World earlier in the morning as much as possible to get my grocery shopping done before it gets hot during the day and all that. So on Saturday we'll be back in the P-38 Lightning. We'll be going from Wendover, Utah, over to Pocatello. I think that's over in Oregon. I think. And remember, Monday, no stream. Sunday, we've got no trains on Sunday. We'll get a long flight around the Bay Area planned. So yeah, we got that to work through. Yeah, we'll take off from Hayward and we're gonna go head up through Berkeley and all that, hang a right or hang a left, go around San Francisco a bit, down the coast of Santa Cruz, inland back to San Jose, on the East Bay, tour around there a bit, and then we will show you some other spots that we may not have touched or shown a few other times that we've gone around San Francisco. So yeah, should be nice. Show you a couple other areas that I think you'll find interesting. Well, yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to. I don't really know what else to talk about. Yeah. Yeah, so remember, no flight on the 4th. I will not be online. We'll return on the 5th. Get a little bit of island. I think it's an island hop. And then we'll be back going from Karachi to Jupiter. I'm not sure how Judpur. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. That's going to be a bit of a long one. We got two. Legs. One is 146 and one's 182. So that's going to be a bit of a long one. And then on the 7th, no flight. 7th of July. So next week, very few flights. So on Monday and Thursday, I believe. Yes, Monday and Thursday, there will not be any flights. Thursday, I will not be back in time, probably to join any streams or anything. It's going to be a bit of a long day. I've got to go up to Syracuse for the day. To the VA hospital up there for some stuff. So I won't be online at all that day. I'm not sure what time I'm going to get home, and probably be late afternoon, probably like 5 or 6 in the evening. Probably just want to sit down and eat and relax, put my feet up. Still haven't picked up the VOR DME yet. Okay. Chart here. Let's see if we can figure out where we are. Have an idea where we are. Okay. So we're going to be over the water most actually for the remainder once we get past this point out here, we're going to be over the water pretty much the rest of the way. And then we'll come in over the coast into Karachi. And then we'll be done. We'll wrap this thing up. Call it a day. So I do greatly appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out for however long you can. thought I heard the faint. Yeah, I don't think that's a high power VOR DME, so we might have to get closer before we hear the or see how much farther we got to go. So probably still within the first quarter of the flight. Yeah, not quite at the halfway point yet. Halfway point would be probably, there's gonna be a weird sort of once we pass this, the next part of land that kind of juts out into the bay there, or the water, might be roughly our halfway point to Karachi. So seems like we're making good time still, or like we have been. You know, we just kind of plug along, and next thing you know, we're there. So we're making good time, it seems. We're cruising along at 103 knots. And kind of just hanging out here about 5,200 feet. So yeah, this might be the flight, the last one that we will get to our destination as the sun's going down, and then next time we fly out of here, we may have to change the time a little bit just to make sure we have light to fly by. But I would think so. They landed, I think. I think Kish Island was probably a stopover for the night, and then they flew to Jace for fuel and you know, drop off mail or pick up stuff or whatever, any kind of cargo that needed to keep going to the east. But I think Karachi would have been their next stopover for the night. So they would have been flying pretty much all day, I would think, from Kish Island. They would take off in the morning, get to Jace, stop, fuel up, you know, whatever, and then head to Gwadar, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but anyway, so go there, stop for fuel and everything, and then head on to Karachi. So I think that's how this leg of the flight would have been, and that probably would have been a full day of flying from sunup to late afternoon, almost early evening. Stop there for the night, because Karachi would have been like a big, kind of a big city center even back then, so it would have been a place they would have stopped off, and the passengers could have had, you know, dinner there, stay the night there, and get up the next day and keep on going. It's amazing to think, though, that they did all that they made that trip roughly in a week. Maybe a little bit more depending on the weather, but during the summertime, they certainly would have had decent enough weather that they had enough light to fly by. All right, we're doing good on the heading. So let's see out here. So there's that point, and you can kind of see maybe not yet. Still haven't picked it up yet. I think we'll be about halfway, and then we'll pick up that signal. Yeah, we're making good time, I think. We're almost at the halfway point, so just a tad more. Yeah. So the multiplayer is open Monday through Saturday. Do join us if you want. Or not. So there's that. So we have. We should be able to see that next little bit of land getting out in the water there. From where we're going to be here on this route. It should be somewhere up in there, I think. Hang outside for a bit. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to take a quick break for a moment. I'll be right back, folks. Alright, I'm back. I got 5 people watching. Hello everybody, welcome. We are on our way to Karachi. We took off from Gwadar, Gwadar, heading to Karachi. We're almost at the halfway point. This is leg 18 of 32 on our way to Indonesia, the former Dutch East Indies. This is a 1930s KLM route that departed from Amsterdam, heading to the Dutch East Indies for business folks. It was a mini vacation along the way. Wherever they stopped, they stayed the night in most places. Had a bit of time to sightsee and all that. So yeah. We started this whole route in the Junkers, or the KLM, the Fokker F7B with the KLM livery. The plane turned out to be a bit of a dud, so we pressed the Junkers 52 back into service for the remainder of the trip. Yeah, it's been going well. Seen some pretty interesting. We landed in Cairo a few weeks back, almost a month ago probably. We went through Iraq, Iran, now we're in Pakistan, making our way east. Heading to Karachi. We've got a VOR DME that I'm tuned into already. Just waiting for the signal to appear. Might not be a very high powered VOR DME. I think we'll have to be at least halfway there before we start getting the signal. You come in and say hello. It's fine. Don't be scared. On Monday's flight, this plane was like all over the place. The wind just kept knocking it off course. It would just kind of had a mind of its own. Either we'd go way to the left or way to the right. It was like doing this zigzag back and forth until finally it seemed like towards the last quarter of the flight things kind of settled down. But yeah, it was not easy. So I'll keep the plane on track on Monday earlier this week. For those of you who are new, tomorrow we will be in the F-14 departing from Lockheath to Ramstein. Friday we have a Cessna 172 flight from Atlantic Municipal to St. Joseph. It's a 98 nautical mile flight, roughly. That one's gonna start a little bit earlier on Friday, so that I can do my grocery shopping a little bit earlier in the morning before it starts getting too hot and too crowded. Oh, thank you, Mick. Oh yeah. Thank you, Mick. I greatly appreciate that. Mick is one of the founding members of the Uncle B Sim channel Twitch. One of the first subscribers. Teresa's the other subscriber. Subscriptions are always greatly appreciated, but are not required to hang out here on the channel. Oh, there we go. We got the information. 194 nautical miles to go. I just saw that. Everything just kind of, that popped up. So we are tuned in. We have information. So almost halfway there when we got the signal. So month number 2, thank you, Mick. Greatly appreciate that, good sir. And I look forward to being on the farm tonight. And more things done, ignoring the chat. I tell you, when you're not, and Mick, tell me if this is the case, if you hear this or if you're listening still. When you're not streaming but you're playing the same game as the streamer, like, you feel kind of like it's nice, it's more relaxed, like you're not having to pay attention to the chat and everything, and you can just kind of like do your own thing, and just enjoy it for what it is. Because that's how I feel like when I fly with Captain Arish on Mondays and Wednesdays usually. It's the same thing, I can just fly and not worry about anything else. I don't have to look at the chat. I can just focus on flying, unless when we're on the farm, I can focus on farming and not worrying about what's happening in the chat. And it's nothing personal against anybody. I don't want anybody to think that, but it's easier for me to just go in and get stuff done for Mick, on his farm, because I'm not, stopping every so often to answer somebody in the chat, which makes it's very difficult to do that, quite honestly. When you're kind of in a groove and you just want to get things done, and you feel like because otherwise it can be a bit overwhelming. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat and get stuff done. So yeah, that's why Pulse and I are taking the day off during the week, so we can play. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah, like when I hadn't expected to fly last night, but I was sitting here and I was like, let me just check to see if anything's different, and lo and behold, it was. But I was able to fly. I didn't have to worry about the chat or anything like that. I could just fly, and that was fine. It was very enjoyable, and so yeah, I can understand that. But yeah, like, I'm not trying to ignore anybody in the chat necessarily. It's just that it's much easier for me to help you get stuff done on the farm, so that we're productive with the time and all that we're making the best use of the time that we have, and getting as much done as possible while we're there. Let's see, it was 264. So, calculator here. 132 nautical miles is the halfway point, roughly. So we still got a bit to go. We're doing pretty well on time, I think. Yeah, I do enjoy that, just getting on there and, harvesting, plowing, whatever we got to do to get things reset, so that on the next time we're live, we got time. So, is it tonight that you're on the? I thought it was. It is tonight that you're on the farm. I don't know, the days seem to change. I'm like, wait a minute, first it was Tuesdays and now it's Wednesday. I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Yeah, definitely, Nick. I agree. And plus, I think, Pithers and I can do a lot of the big work, and then, so that gives you time to interact, and also then, you can, if stuff's got to be ran to a sell point or whatever, there's ways you can do that as well and talk. But yeah, we can just get on with things and. Nothing wrong with that. But I am looking forward to the forestry part. That's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah. I've never really, other than the tutorials like on FS19 that you could try the different things. That was my only experience with it, but I've not really gone for the whole thing, or done it. Like producing wood and taking it somewhere to be either a sawmill or a chipper or whatever. So. No, I wouldn't. Not. I don't. Is there I wonder if is there beaches along here? I mean, what would they? Is it possible that there's beaches, or maybe not so much? I'm wondering that. What would be we're still on track. Perfect. Yeah, but it's nice. You got your things going, and expanding slowly and buying more land and getting more things going to increase profits and stuff. And Yeah, looking forward to that tonight. See, I thought I got a thing where... Alright, we're almost at our halfway point. We have, let's see. Wait a second. Okay. I thought that said 170. Maybe I'd glanced at it too quickly. So we got to get to 132 nautical miles, and then we're halfway there. So about 40 something nautical miles, and then we're at the halfway point. Chip. All right. I think coming up right here, that should be that part of the land that's jutting out there. Yep, there's a mount, kind of a high point there. So yep, that should be almost our halfway point, I think. Maybe just a little bit past that. Just on the eastern side of that will be the halfway point, roughly. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Yeah, been a good flight so far. At least we can see the coast there. So we've been flying for just under an hour, almost an hour now. So I think we'll get there at about the 2 hour mark, roughly. I'm going to grab me a little snack. I'm going to mute myself for a minute and I'll be back in just a jiff. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you, Mick. All right. $157. So yeah, it's going to be on the other side over here. We'll be at our halfway point. That was just a guesstimate, roughly, based on the chart from SkyVector. Alright, let's... yeah, it's definitely going to be up ahead there. Try to get a walk-in today again. It looks like it's gonna be nice out today. Hopefully not too hot. You know, I'll definitely be ready for the farming tonight. I'm gonna go out and get my walk in before that, so I can get the blood flowing. I wonder if Mr. Addies is going to watch the farming tonight. He will be again amazed by how much we get done. He'll be befuddled. We're almost at the halfway point. We're getting there. It'll be somewhere on the other side, on the eastern side of this little mountainous area here, right here on the coast. We are starting to slow down a bit, though. I just noticed. We were doing about on 103, 103 knots, and now we're 101, 102-ish. So let's wonder what we're gonna get or not get tomorrow. I think tomorrow's gonna be another one of those lean days, as I call it. Another lean week. Although, who knows, we may get surprised. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be some airports, some scenery stuff, some livery packs, and that will be the extent of it. I don't expect any plans. I would think here in the next, probably after the 4th of July weekend, the following weekend, so that'd be the 12th. I think that's probably when, roughly there, or the following week on the 19th, they will open up the beta for the Sim Update 10. Get working on that so that they have time to continue to fix anything that needs to be fixed. Oh, look at that. Mr. Addy's got a gifted sub. Ooh-wee. Joseph, you better check your Twitch. Thank you, Mick. Greatly appreciate that. Very kind of you. So Mr. Addies is now, I don't know if he's the third founding member. He's got to talk in the chat, I think, for it to take effect. Joseph, if you're here, say hello again. Let's see what your thing looks like now that you are a subscriber. Thank you, Mick. Greatly appreciate that. That was very unexpected. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, something popped up, and I had to look over. I was like, oh. Very much appreciated. Mr. Addies, where are you at right now? All right, so yeah, almost at the halfway point. I was about there, so yeah, we just passed there. Says he's in the chat still. He's probably multitasking. I don't know, is Ace live right now? Or is Jason live? Yeah, I appreciate that. Every little helps here. every little bit helps here and there for a bro across the pond. Is that how they chat these days? I don't know. I'm not sure, Mick. Let's see if Ace is live on something right now. He might be live on... So I think he's on summer break now, isn't he, from Muni? I don't see him live on anything. Very much appreciate it. Oh, now we got 4 viewers. Our lot are on summer break in the future. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. We'll have to hunker down in the man cave until the end of summer. Just bring me food and drinks and I'll be okay. Otherwise, leave me alone. Alright, we're just past the halfway point now, folks. Just plugging right along here. I think I didn't gas up enough. Either, well, he might be on summer break or pretty close to it, I would imagine. So, I know his frequency of streaming will increase for a bit, but also that gives him time to spend with Amanda. Just go ahead and fill the tanks all the way up to 100%. That's what happens when you gas up while you're flying. The plane becomes unbalanced. Yeah, I'm sure. Hopefully, him and Amanda will have time to do something together during the break. Let's have a look at the map to see if we're still on the... No, not too far. We're a little bit... We're right next to it, so that's okay. I remember those summer... Well, see, here in America, summer break began probably almost 2.5 weeks ago, I think, roughly. The only time your summer break... Well, it wasn't essentially ruined. It just felt that way, but if you had to take summer school for any reason, your summer break was not as fun as it could be. That's the price you pay for not paying attention in class and not keeping your grades up. Well, summer school it is. I think I only had summer school twice. Yeah. Do they have something like that there, Mick, in the UK? Summer school? Like if you have a class that your grades weren't, well, I don't know how the grading is there. Like if you had a class that you weren't like doing well in, that you had to repeat the class over the summer. Do they have something like that, or do they just pass you on, or that you have to retake it in the next school year or something? Curious to see how that works. I think I've asked this question before, but I don't remember. Oh, okay. That must be a thing. Well, here it's all based on grades, A through F, and if you have anything below a C, then I think by the state of California requirements, I don't know what it's like here in New York, but state of California requirements were that you had to have at least a C grade to pass a class. So if you did not, then you had to repeat it over the summer. It wasn't like you could repeat it the next year, but you had to take it over the summer to get your grade back up. To at least a C. Okay. There are, well, see, there wasn't any tutoring available like when I was in high school. Like I was struggling with math. My mom had to ask somebody she knew that she worked with who was very good, made it all the way through, like, I guess geometry and calculus, probably at least geometry for sure, because he was a civil engineer. So he tutored me, but there wasn't tutors available on campus that I ever knew of. That, even if you went into like your had like an advisor or something, there was no information on anything like that either. But at the community college, yes, they have tutors. The school, you get paid by the school for tutoring. It's not that the student pays you directly. It's you go and apply. There's a whole tutoring section, and if you're having trouble, you go and say, I need a tutor for like biology. And so then they will find somebody. You have to have a very good grade in the class in order to be a tutor. You can't be like a C grade person or anything like that. You have to have at least an A, I think maybe even a B plus, to show that you knew the subject. So, but yeah, then if you were assigned, like if I was assigned as a tutor to somebody, then I fill out the paperwork, and then I have a timesheet, and they, I put all that, and then I get paid by the by the school. They had a separate budget for tutoring. But the funny thing was, for instance, like, I tutored people in beginning photo, and they say, well, you only get an hour with this person. Well, there's not much you can do in an hour trying to help somebody understand beginning photography. You need at least 2 hours. So they were like, well, we'll trust your judgment, but you can't always do that. And it's like, well, you have to make allowances, because it's not like in like a biology class that you bring your notes from yesterday's class or whatever, that you go over the notes with your tutor and you go through the concepts or whatever. You can probably do that in an hour, maybe hour and a half tops. But for photography, you got to go try to help them understand the basics and everything. So yeah, it's but yeah, they used to kind of chide me. They were like, well, you say they need, but we don't know. It's like, well, I'm not trying to screw anybody out of money. I'm trying to give the student at least a chance to pass the class with a good grade. That's my whole goal. I tutored somebody in radio production, and she was legally blind in one eye. And so we had to work to find, help her find all the controls, or I'd say, if you handle this part here, I'll do this other part, and that way at least we can get your show done. But she made it. I think she got an A in the class. But yeah, she was very, very funny, very pleasant to work with, just good attitude, so yeah, it's not easy to go in and say, okay, how are we going to make this work so that she can get her show turned in on time and all that. But that she's doing the work, that I'm not doing the work for her. I kind of miss tutoring. I miss tutoring in radio production. I would love to go back and do that at least. That was a fun class. I really enjoyed it. But the funny thing too is that what happens is a lot of students, if they're already behind, if they're behind by the halfway point in the semester, there's not much I can do to help them. I always tell people, like, look, if you know in the first 2 weeks or so that you're going to have a hard time with this class, you might as well go ahead and request help. That way we can get you back on track. Otherwise, you're going to be, you're going to fall farther behind, and then you're going to get a bad grade, and that can affect your scholarships and stuff. Your student, your especially scholarships. Because you have to for most scholarships, you have to maintain a certain grade point average in order to keep your scholarship, or to be able to keep it going into the next school year or anything like that. But yeah, there'd be students who'd be like, at the halfway point, they'd be like, I'm going to need help, and it's like, well, we got a lot of work to do. But then they wouldn't want to do the work. I'd be available. I'd be waiting by the studio, the radio studio, and be ready to go, and they wouldn't show up. So after a while, it's like, well, obviously you're not interested in helping yourself, so. 32 divided by 2, that should be 66. So once we're at 66 nautical miles, that's roughly will be in the last quarter of our flight. So yeah, we've made really good time. I feel like we're only at 1 hour and 35 on the stream, so we've probably about 1 hour 20 on flying, maybe 1 hour 25-ish. But yeah, it was. I miss tutoring, but I really enjoyed tutoring in the radio production. That was a lot of fun. But see, I think a lot of students thought that if they signed up for a tutor, that would keep them from failing the class. It's like, no, not only do you got to sign up, but you got to meet with the tutor. Just because you signed up to meet with the tutor doesn't mean that you're automatically going to pass the class. You got to do the work to get caught up, and at least churn in enough work to get a C at least. But I think Joseph might have fallen asleep. Might have tuckered the poor kid out. Let's have a look at our map, see if we drifted a little bit farther to the left. Let's get back to the right here. Oh, now everything's showing up. Look at that. Now the one here in front of us is suddenly... Alright. 98 nautical miles. Slowly plugging away here. All right. Just out of curiosity. Nope. We are not anywhere near close enough to talk to Karachi yet. Oy. Well, I do greatly appreciate everybody coming and hanging out today. For those of you who have been here all along, or thereabouts. Thank you. Thank you again, Mick, for resubscribing, and thank you for the gifted sub to Mr. Addies. Really appreciate that. I don't know that it's quite registered with him yet. Had to drink some water for a bit to keep my voice going. All right. Okay. I know roughly where we are. Okay, it's almost 1800 there in Karachi. We should be making it there before sundown. Let's see if it's on the list yet. There it is. OPKC. Well, there we go. Hello, Para. Looks like a plane called Hercules in the night. Well, no, well, this is a Junkers 52. German plane from the 1930s. We are on our way to Karachi. Plane called Hercules in the Netherlands. Huh. I have to look that up. So yeah, we're on our way to Karachi. This is a 32 leg flight. This is leg 18 of 32. We're on our way to former Dutch East Indies, now called Indonesia. This was a KLM route in the 1930s. It took them about a week from start to finish to get from Amsterdam all the way to Indonesia. But we are not going to do that much flying in a day. I'm not going to sit here for 8 hours and no thanks. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, we're just, we are 74 nautical miles out from Karachi. We've already talked to the airport and let them know we're coming in. So they told us we're okay with that. So we're going to go straight in on runway 07 right, put it on the ground, park it, call it a day. So this is the part where most everybody's going to start popping in. Once they know I'm like, I think they kind of check and see, well, how much farther has he got to go? Okay, I'll come back in a little bit. So usually about 30 nautical miles out, that's when everybody will start to pop in because they're like, oh, it's getting ready to land now. So yeah, we will be back tomorrow in the F-14. It's going to be a quick flight. Yeah, the taking off, well, it used to be most people would watch the takeoff, and then they would, you know, once we climbed out and we were on our way, then they would disappear. But now it's not even that. They just kind of like go, oh, I'll show up for the landing, and that's about it. So that's fine. Yeah, tomorrow we're doing an F-14. I'm in the F-14. I think if Mick's going to join, he'll be in the F-18. We're just going to take a quick run from Lockheath over to Ramstein. Going to be a quick flight across the channel just for some fun, and then we'll call that a day, and then we'll be back on Friday. We'll him and I both, if he's going to join, I think he will. We'll both be in the Cessna 172, 98 nautical mile flight from Atlantic Municipal to St. Joseph. That's over in the United States. Quick little flight, nothing spectacular about it. And but we're just gonna do that for fun. That's gonna be an earlier flight. Gonna get started about 6:10 East Coast time, and so that's 10:10 UTC, 11:10 in the UK. So, but it would be a 98 nautical mile flight. It won't take us very long to do. Get that done, so that allows me to get my grocery shopping done in the morning before it gets too hot and too crowded. Otherwise, I was going to cancel the flight, but I wanted to get that flight in and enjoy that. And yeah. No, Saturday we'll be in the I'll be in the P-38 Lightning. Mick, if he's going to join, will be in the Spitfire. We're going from Wendover to Pocatello. Sunday we're doing a scenic flight around San Francisco Bay Area. We're going to be going almost all over the place, really, on that flight. And then on the 4th of July, no stream. Oh, okay. You're 1 hour. Okay, so you're at the UTC time. So that's like 4 hours ahead for me, and then there's an additional hour for UK time. Okay. Yeah, I try to include all those because most people some people don't live in the UK, but they know the UTC time, and they can say, okay, I'm from there, I'm this far ahead or this far behind or whatever. So alright, we're finally in the last quarter of the flight now, folks. Yeah. Well, I have the multiplayer open. para if you want to join sometime. More than welcome to. The only time that the multiplayer will not be open is on Sundays when we do the Scenic Sundays, because otherwise it's just too many people flying around, and it'd make it hard for me to talk about the area and stuff like that, point out points of interest and everything. So, but Monday through Saturday, the multiplayer is open. West Europe server. I usually will post in the I have a Discord. You can join that if you want. That I post like the schedule for the week. If I'm not flying, I will post in there as well. Hello, back to the goal. No, no, not nostalgia. No. Yeah, I'm doing okay, Vengeful Squid. Nice to see you here. But yeah, West Europe server. If you want to join the Discord para, more than welcome to. That way, every Sunday usually, by late afternoon, early evening, I will post the schedule for the week. But if I'm not going to fly, I try to post on there on the Discord that if the flight's canceled, so that way you're not waiting for me. But yeah, Monday through Saturday, West Europe server. Yeah, join in. And it's not necessarily that you have to have the same plane as me. If you don't, that's fine. You know, but there'll be times. But what we're going to try to do from here on out, going forward, we'll do Thursdays and Fridays. Will be general aviation flights. So that way, if you want to fly in the Cessna 172 and just fly, we can do that. Everything will be based on the base game airplanes, what's available, the aircraft there on the very basic level of the game. So that way, hopefully, everybody has access to all the same aircraft. So it's just that on Mondays and Wednesdays, flight stick is better. Yeah, definitely. Although I'm using the Xbox controller, it's okay, but it's not the same. I imagine once I do get a yoke and throttle, it's going to be much better flying. I'm going to have to kind of learn how to fly again and dump all my bad habits that I had from using the controller. It'll be easier to keep the plane, like a plane like this, you kind of have to kind of hover over the runway while you bleed off speed, and then so easier to do with a yoke, I think, than the controller. So, but yeah, anybody wants to join, more than welcome to join. Yeah. Well, I mean, this plane, once you get it going, and just kind of it levels off eventually. Usually, not always, but generally, we've had good luck, and the plane kind of levels off, and I just have to turn the plane a little bit here and there to keep it on track. And otherwise, yeah, it's not that bad. But it took a lot of practice to get used to. Because you have to be very. You can't just yank back on the thumbstick, or not yank back, but pull back on the thumbstick or whatever. You have to just be, little things, and then the plane responds better. But if I suddenly go left, right, up, or down, then it's just, it's an extreme. So. Yeah, it doesn't go very well. But yeah, I've done pretty good with it. I would like to get a yoke and throttle, just so that, because I think the flying would improve, and then, a plane like the Spitfire, for instance, I wouldn't have to put it on autopilot. I could I could literally hand fly it then. But right now, when I fly, or even the P-38, there is a tablet that you can use that's got an autopilot system that you can use that to help you out. And that's better, so then I can, go outside, look around, take pictures and stuff like that. All right, so that should be the coastline that we're looking for. Yeah, it's just yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And then I would have to have something to mount it to. That's the other thing. Um, that's the other thing. I would like eventually, to be honest, I would like to go to the PC side. The Xbox side is okay, but it's very it's not very stable, or it's because they didn't realize all the intricacies of the Xbox, the how it's set up. That's okay. So yeah, I'd really like to get on the PC because there's way more stuff available than what is on the Xbox. Um, you can, when a aircraft is released, you can go. There's like a couple sites you can go to, and you can get there directly. You don't have to wait for it to go into the in-sim marketplace. You can just buy it directly. And so if you have any issues, you can deal with that developer directly instead of fussing with Microsoft, because the developer will say it's a Microsoft issue, and then Microsoft, no, it's a developer issue, and it's somewhere in between is the truth. So let's have a look here. Airport coming up. Yeah, airport is somewhere up in there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break one more time before we land, and I'll be back in just a moment. Oh yeah, I heard about his rig. Uh, yeah, that's pretty impressive. I wish I could. That would be my goal eventually. Well, not so much a rig, but many people just have like a desk that they mount stuff to. Like the yoke, for instance, mounts onto a desk. It's got like a bracket system, and then the throttle can sit right next to it, or you can mount that somewhere nearby. as well. Some people mount it right next, like, or some people put it down like where it would be, in relation to the to where the pilot sits. Um, yeah, uh, I would like to do all that. That's again, I kind of priced everything that I would want, and it was roughly all told, I think about almost $8,000. That'd be a new PC, good computer monitor, or just a monitor in general, pretty wide screen so that I can see everything. Um, the yoke and throttle. What else? If I was going to stream, I'd need one of those. What do they call it? Like a streamcaster or something like that. But anyway, it gives you the chance to control all of your streaming stuff, like the volumes and stuff like that. So I think goes through, like, it works with OBS, I think, like that. And then yeah, that, and I forget what else it was that yeah, all told it would be. Yeah, most people do. They just have a desk instead of a rig because they can put a desk somewhere and it's not difficult. Like one viewer that I know, Skeptic, she has a desk, but she uses it for well, maybe a capture card. I don't know. Possibly, I would need that one as well. That's very possible. The what do you call it? But yeah, she uses it for things besides flying. So she has her set up that when she's not flying, stuff can be easily stored, and then she can put it back when she wants to fly. So a lot of people do that as well. It's not a permanent mount necessarily. So it might have been a capture card. I had a whole list written down somewhere. I can't remember what I did with it. So all right, 40 nautical miles. We need to start slowing down a bit. All right. I think this flight will be just over 2 hours long. We made really good time. airport is over there somewhere, I believe. I want to try to get inland here a little bit, and then we should see our runway. Or not our runway, but we'll get our pattern thing to show up. So. See, and the other thing too is I'd like to, with the PC, then I can have like a, stream starting soon sort of thing, kind of like what Nick has on his channel. That kind of a preview, or a little bit about the channel with the music and all that, so that people can tune in and know that had a lot of yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure out. There's so I made affiliate, so one of the ways I can make money is having the ads run, but I think they're I have to look at how they're spread out, and maybe have to change something, because yeah, something's not right. So I don't know, maybe I thought I put it where there'd only be a couple during the stream, but for some reason it's like the opposite. It's like there's a bunch, so I have to check. Yeah, well, not so much a pause, like, because generally when I'm flying, if the plane is stable on its own, kind of like this was earlier, I can just go ahead and let it fly itself. It's not going to fall out of the sky. But no, I wouldn't do brakes, because there's the games that Mick plays, for instance. It's a brake is something that it works for those sorts of games. Yeah. Well, that's what I do too, but I'd like to be able to have that option, so that people can come in and get ready for the stream and all that. But I thought, well, I don't know. Some people may not have turned on the notification for when my stream starts here on Twitch, so it's like hit and miss. Sometimes I get quite a few people in, and other times it's like just a couple. Sometimes not many. Nobody comes in for like 75% of the flight, and then all of a sudden everybody comes in, and it's like I've spent 75% of the flight talking to myself. That's not fun. So is that it is near the coast. It almost looks like an airport there. Well, no, it's not. Is it? One look. It is kind of not far from a coastal area. That might be it. Might be our airport right there. I think that's it. See, it's saying that everything is over that way. But we're close enough. We should, see our pattern entry. So I was tuned in to the VOR DME. Yeah. Well, the strange thing is, mine grew, but it's just a matter of. It's like people show up, and then it's like suddenly nobody shows up. It's just very hard to tell, and I don't know if it's that they just don't like the stuff that I'm flying, or what is it? So I really don't know. I kind of feel like that's our airport there. nothing else looks like an airport that I can see. Based on what I saw, this looks like the most reasonable area. It's hard to tell. So nothing's showing, nothing's popping up. Matter of fact, here's what we're gonna do. Let's just see if we're right or wrong. Nope, well, it's on the other side. Okay, so there we go. All right, that's why. Okay, I thought we were way off. Well, and see, that's the thing. Sometimes people are, and other times it's like just that, people don't come in and say anything. People lurk, but don't come in and say hello or just anything to say, hey, just watching, lurk, got you on in the background, something like that, just so that you know that somebody's there. Or it may just be that they saw that I was live. They may not be some, followers or anything. They watch for a few minutes and are like, yeah, no, thanks, not interested. But they don't interact either, so that they get a better idea of what we do. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, there was one flight that I think I took off and like nobody showed up for like, I think at least more than half the flight. I was just like, where is everybody? But it does make the stream go by quicker if people interact. But it's also what type of interaction. If somebody comes in, they're being belligerent. Of course, that's not the kind of interaction you want. See, I want to say that is an air base. Oops, right there, or that's an airfield of some kind. But Karachi's, it says on the other side here somewhere. So we're gonna kind of just lazily make our way there in a lazy fashion. Yeah, that's the thing. Is a lot of times it's just that there's silence, and then other times it's like people. The conversations can get a bit I don't know, off the rails, or I don't know. Pretty soon we should see our pattern entry. See, this is the difficult part here. I mean, there are some mountainous regions, but there's no, well, and I've never flown to Karachi, I don't think. So it's very difficult to know what are the landmark features that I can pick out. Like, obviously if you fly around San Francisco, there's bridges and stuff, roughly where you are in relation to San Francisco International. Okay, there it is, right over there. Oh, right. So that does look like an airfield. I'm guessing that's a military air base right there. Hold on, let me look. It may not be on the chart. But I'm guessing that's a military airfield. Yeah, That's what it looks like it would be. It's not on SkyVector's chart, but I'm almost certain it's in the. Matter of fact, I'm positive that airfield is in the sim. It's just that because it's a military base, especially, or that there's SkyVector doesn't have any kind of airport chart for it or any kind of other information. So. Yeah, there. I remember. I think when I was planning the flight this morning to make sure we were set to go, that is a military air base there. And just quickly, as we're coming in to get ready to go on our final approach here, one of the things that I noticed when I was putting together this flight, the whole route from Amsterdam down to Indonesia. A lot of either the airports that they went to no longer exist, or a vast majority of them have been turned into military airfields. And so trying to get, to navigate, from your departure airport to your destination sometimes is very difficult. This is what I do is I put a lot of stuff in when we're doing flights like this. I use SkyVector to verify the heading, and if we have a navigation aid like we had the VOR DME here at Karachi, I have the frequency for it. So, and I notate all that stuff, what heading, how far, that sort of thing, so that we know. Where we're at and where we're going. All right, folks, I'm going to turn the laptop to the right so I don't get distracted. While I come in for landing here, I will catch up with the chat once we're on the ground. folks, we're almost there. Surprised we haven't heard from the tower. There we go. This looks like apartment buildings or something there. There's a football pitch right there. Looks like. I wonder if that's where the Pakistani national team plays. Or if it's the local Karachi team. I know if Karachi has a football team. Trying to find that sweet spot there where we're in the blue, but we're not going too slow where we're going to stall. We make it to the end of over the edge of the runway there. Trying to get this thing lined up. Pretty much on the line, I think. It's hard to know because there's no like visual reference really. A little bit flatter than we normally do, just so that we aren't trying to dive for the runway here. There we are. On behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Karachi, Pakistan. Local time is... Ooh, up. 18:45 in the evening. Whoa, almost tipped it over, didn't I? We understand and appreciate the fact that you have a lot of options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures. We are glad that you chose to fly with us today. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. I'll catch up with the chat here in just a second, folks. Sorry. Parking, please. All right. Turn the laptop here to the side. Oh, if it's right there, I'm just going to go right over here then. No sense in going all the way over there. Joey Bolo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. That wasn't too bad. Just passengers. So this route, when KLM did it in the 1930s, I think it was passenger and or small freight, maybe even mail, that they would take and drop off along the way, because that was revenue for the airline. You know, if they were running mail, they would just get, they would get paid for that. So, thank you for the follow, Joey Bolo. Appreciate that. Yeah, not too bad of a flight. A little bit wonky there at the end. I got on the brakes a little too hard. And that's the problem with a lot of the tail dragging planes, that if you brake too hard, you can easily tip the plane over, and that'll be the end of that. So, but we made it. We'll be back tomorrow. I will be flying the F-14 if Mick's going to join me. Hopefully, I think he'll be in the F-18. Also, the airport back in 1930s in Karachi was probably way different than it is today. It was probably one strip, and it was probably dirt, I would imagine. I don't know if it was paved even then or not, but it might have been just a dirt runway. So, and it might have been only a few buildings as well. You'd have a passenger terminal. Okay, Mick will be in the F-18. I will be in the F-14. We're going to depart from Lock and Heath, scoot across the channel over to Ramstein, and call it a day. So it should be a very quick flight. We're just going to take off and make our way there, and that's about it. Oop. There we go. Oop. All right. Shut everything off. Engines will go. And then we shut the batteries off. 1, 2. 2 hours and 25 minutes. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. I like it. So 1850 in the evening there at Karachi. It's almost 1900 hours. Wait for the stream to come. Oh, thank you, Joey Bullo. Appreciate that. Wait for this to catch up. Oh, let me get my hours notated. 5, 3, 6. All right, perfect. Yeah, I don't trust the. Yes, Mick. Well, I'm not sure which one he's going to fly, but the F-18 is from Top Gun. Yes, the new Top Gun movie. He flies an F-18. Correct. So, anyway, that will do it for today, folks. Greatly appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you again, Joey Bolo, for the follow. Thank you again, Mick, for resubscribing for the second month in a row. And thank you for the gift sub to Mr. Addies. I don't know where he disappeared to, but hopefully he realizes the gift that you gave him at some point and says thank you. Wibbly wobbly guy, yeah. So thank you all. Appreciate it. Do enjoy the rest of your Wednesday morning, afternoon, evening, early Thursday morning, depending on where you are in the world. I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B. Until tomorrow, peace, live long and prosper.